Hey everybody, it's Lala Black Sheep, and I am here today with my review for R&B Divas LA, episode 8. I believe this is the finale, titled "What Would a Diva Do?" Okay, so I have my notes. How you doing? I see I'm a little bit on time today. Excuse all of this, but I'll go back to work tomorrow. I ain't trying to do a whole lot today. Okay. We start off. They're at 1 week until showtime, and Claudette has invited Shantae over to discuss their feelings about the monologues. And Claudette asked Shantae how she feels, about everything, and Shantae saying she feels really good about the show, but she's still a bit nervous about performing it. And she says basically, for a singer or a vocalist, that it's much easier to sing about your feelings than it is to actually speak about it. She's saying, like, what if she goes off script, and then what does she do? If she just kind of slips up and says something different than what was prepared, because you write the stuff out so it has some type of structure. So, but if you're telling stories, you're telling things that really happened to you, and you're evoking real emotions, it's very easy to get off track and run away with it. A lot like my videos that I make for you guys, when I just start rambling, and next thing you know, I've been talking for a whole hour. I'm gonna try not to do that. Okay. So Claudette is saying that she's still, uneasy about sharing her story, about the rape. That's in the second half of her set. She's saying she has the first half done, she's good, but the second half she's just really, really nervous about. And but she understands, that everybody's really upset about, the other other two ladies dropping out, and she doesn't want to do that, but she's really, really nervous, which you actually see and hear many, many, many times in this one episode. Okay. She says it's a very, very dark and painful story, to tell, and it's even worse when it's actually something real that really happened to you, and I can understand that. Shantae tells Claudette, whatever it is that you decide to do, take your time, think about it, whatever it is, commit to it, and you shouldn't have to worry too much. You're beautiful, you're talented, you can do whatever it is that you decide to do. I think she was just kind of showing her that she has her support. She's not going to judge her. These things are heavy. And honestly, if a person dropped out of the monologues because something was just too dark or too heavy to share, that would be, much more understandable. I think a much more valid reason than, I don't like the way you're doing things, or I'm not getting my way, or I'm having a temper tantrum, or I'm a lackey. So yeah. It would suck that Claudette would drop out. But if she did, if it was just too much for her, it would just be too much for her. And you can actually respect that a little more than what... Anyway. So, the ladies, that we go to the ladies and Fred, and he's taking them to the El Portal theater, which is where that we have in the monologues. And Mo was like, I never saw this place, but he was all hyped about it. He's like, oh, this is hard. This is the best place or whatever. And she was like, I swear, if this is a dinner theater, I'm going to kick his ass. So that was funny, because they didn't really know. They never heard of the El Portal theater, and they didn't know what to expect, But when they got there, it was really nice. It was like spacious enough to look like, this is not, somebody's spare room in a big house or whatever, Kelly and Dawn. But it was like intimate. It didn't look like it wasn't like a huge stadium or something like that. It was intimate, so it was a lot. It felt important, but it didn't feel like so big that it was impersonal, So, and that was nice. And it was in a really nice place. And the ladies, when they saw it, they got excited. Michel'le said she was a little nervous, because she was like, look how close the seats are. Like, people gonna be up in your face. And I know for me, when I used to perform, I could not stand when someone was so close to me that I could see their faces. Like, I would always just be focused on that. Like, what are you doing? Do you not like what you hear? Like, are you smiling to be nice? Are you smiling because you like it? And you just start to focus on the wrong thing. It was always so much easier for me. I actually wound up just staring into the lights And that's what I would do to sing, because I couldn't focus on people's faces, or I would just get intimidated. I would get nervous, and I just couldn't focus on singing. So I would just, forget all that pretending that everybody's naked. That's stupid. I couldn't do that. I don't want to see that. But I would have to look into the lights, So I understand. Michel'le was like, everybody's all up in your face. Like, I don't know if I could do this. But the ladies, they saw the venue and they started to kind of get excited, because it's like, it's really happening. We're here. We're doing this, and they were starting to get that little push that they needed, So, and Mo was saying that she knew she was excited because she was gassy and she could feel the bubbles in her stomach. And she always has to, that's just Mo. She's so funny. And of course, Fred is like, all right, let's get to rehearsal. And Mo gets a little message or whatever, text message, email, I don't know. And as drama would permit, right in time to jack everybody up and add a little bit more bullshit to the game. They see that the troll logs have been announced, and you got Kelly and Dawn's pictures up there from 20 years ago. Talking about how they did their own thing. And it was funny because Bo was like, Dawn don't even look like that anymore. Like, they don't look like this anymore. What is this? What are these pictures? Why are they using these pictures, And everybody was just getting really, really upset. Like, really? They're basically like, that phone did not ring the whole time I was writing my notes, y'all. And of course, as soon as I start my video, we got to hear this. Hold on one second. Let me see. So this is something that's going to be answered. All right, just bear with me, y'all. It's probably going to ring a couple more times. I'm sorry. I got to get this done because I actually have stuff to do today. So, of course, it was messy enough to just kind of throw everybody off. And then, that kind of brought the, that anything that happens in the dark will come to light, because once this happened, it's like, okay, so Kelly wasn't busy. She kept on saying that she was booked. She was booked. But it was obvious that she was booked doing this so that she could hurry up and get it out before the other ladies. And, I just... And Mo was upset. You could tell that this just kind of opened everything up for her all over again. And I get it. I really do. I really get it. The way Kelly and Dawn did things, especially Kelly, it was really, really dirty. It was underhanded. You don't do that to people that you are friends with. You don't do that to people that you actually have real relationships with. So I get that Mo was upset. Shantae had every reason to be upset too. But I think she was just like, I'm over it. Like, I'm beautiful. I'm talented. I can do this. And I know I can do it better. So whatever, and honestly, no, I'm not going to say that, but, Mo was upset, and they could see that she was upset, but it was really important to just keep it moving and not let this mess everybody up, So, Michel'le was like, she can't judge them if that's what they wanted to do. And everybody was saying, like, it's not about judgment, it's just dirty that they did it the way they did it. If you're going to go and you're going to do the same exact thing, use Shantae's name, mind you. I mean, they didn't say that in the episode, but that was dirty, that was slimy, because you're talking about somebody stealing your stuff. And all in all, at the end of the day, you were the one that stole, Kelly. Okay, you were the one, because that name wasn't yours, it was Shantae's. And if you want to be all hell-bent on who owned what and who idea was what and who should get the credit for it, then you should have came up with your own name since you had your own idea. But I digress. So whatever, we move on. They're liars. Kelly's a liar. It was dirty. They did what they did, and as you saw on YouTube, really didn't look like it was worth a pile of shit anyway. So good luck to them, right? Like Mo said. So it's the day before the show, and the ladies are at AMP, and they're rehearsing with the band for the first time, and they only have one day to rehearse. This is the day before the show, so everybody, the band doesn't know all of the songs. Shantae is getting a little worked up. She's like, I haven't practiced with the band. They don't know any of my songs. They don't know any of my parts. How are we going to do this in only 24 hours? And then and she was saying that she was kind of losing confidence in the whole thing because it wasn't perfect, it wasn't seamless, and they're running out of time, and that can be very, very scary. And that's the thing. these women are on this show because they want to relaunch their careers. They want to make a comeback. And you do not want to make a comeback with trash. Just like what Michel'le was talking about in the last episode. If I'm not cool with this, then I don't want to go along with it, because it's nothing worse than not being in the spotlight at all, you know what I mean, and being a used to be, than coming out with some trash. And now everybody knows about you, but they know about you because you had this crap ass performance, or this crap ass music, or whatever, you know. So I get it. Nobody wants to do that. And Shantae is actually doing stuff. She's still talented. She just put out her album and everything. You don't want to have to follow it up with that, and then you're like the laughing stock of the industry. Nobody wants that. So, not to mention that the monologues are kind of an original deal, an original type of show when it comes to the singers and it comes to the divas singing their stories and things like that. It's different. They do have monologue shows, but this has a little different spin on it. So when you're doing something that not many people have done before, and you do a bad job, then it just looks a lot worse. So anyway, they're talking about, you know, Michel'le is not doing her whole song, because they're going back and forth with Philip. Who's doing a whole song? Who's only doing part of their song? How many songs do they know? And finally, Fred is like, look, you know what I mean? You doing your whole song, do your whole song. You only doing a part of it, only do a part of it. And Mo was like, whoa. Like, you ain't never been acting like this before. And I could see Fred was just over it. He's like, we done wasted all of this time, and we're here. It's the day before, and we still don't have stuff together. Like, let's go. Because that's what I was saying when I'm sitting here watching it. I'm like, why are y'all arguing about this when you could be using this time to get it together? All of that, I don't know, I'm not happy with this, it's not enough, da-da-da-da. Like, just shut up. This is my part. Did you hear it? Let's hear it. Play it. Let me sing it. Boom. Okay? And that was done. So Fred was just like, yo, shut it up. Let's get to work. You know, and there was miscommunication, because he thought that everybody was coming to kind of put the speaking parts and the singing parts together. And it actually wound up being, you don't know the music, so you need to learn it type of rehearsal. And you don't, excuse me guys, you don't want to have that type of confusion the day before a show when you only have 24 hours to get it together. Once again, like I said, you know, she spent a whole lot of time trying to stop these women, and I'm talking about, you know, the Monster Bridge troll, from getting anything done. And I know that it was a tactic to make sure that she had extra time to tweak her stuff and try to make it perfect, so that they would be down to the wire and they couldn't do it. And you know what? You underestimated them, because as you see at the end of the show, or, you know, later on in the show, that wasn't the case. Okay, now we're at opening night. This is moving fast, right? We're at opening night. The ladies all look gorgeous. They look really, really beautiful. And they were on a red carpet, you know, and they were being interviewed by Candy from Sweet Addictions TV. I didn't know, she may have mentioned it in one of her videos before that she was there. I knew a couple of people that was on the whole YouTube thing was there. I know Kevin from the Scorpion show, he was there. He saw the Diva logs. I knew Candy had something to do with it. She knew something about it. Did I know that she was actually on the red carpet with them, interviewing them? So I must have missed it, or I must have forgotten. So I was really excited to see her. And, you know, they were just talking, doing their whole thing with the red carpet. So we go to backstage when they're in hair and makeup. And Claudette and Michel'le, they're like, oh, I'm nervous. I need some wine. You know, you want some wine, da-da-da. And Claudette, and Shantae is getting her makeup done. They like, Shantae, you want some wine? What's going on, girl? How you feeling? And she's not really saying anything. And she basically says, like in her confessional, that doing a whole lot of talking in the beginning of a show, before a show, before going on stage, is not really something that she does. And on top of that, she has the extra nerves because, excuse me, I'm so sorry, guys. She has these extra nerves because she has to share, you know, these very, very intimate details about her life. And she's still nervous. Yes, the show is about to begin. She's backstage in hair and makeup, but she's still nervous. And that's natural. It's natural. You know, so she did take the time to explain it to the women. At first, it kind of looked like she was being a little bitchy, but everybody has their, you know, pre-show rituals. Everybody has that whole thing that they do backstage before they go on, or, you know, on to perform. So that was okay. Okay, now they go to the stage manager. I think her name was like Andrina, something like that. And she's talking to Claudette about Claudette's wardrobe or her outfit for the show. Like, for the first half, we're going to do this, and then for the second half. And Claudette just comes out of nowhere, like, I'm not going to be in the second act. And she was like, and why not? Like, what? And everybody's like, the fuck? Like, what you mean you're not going? Huh? While we're about to go on, and she's like, I'm still having second thoughts. I don't know. I'm thinking I want to change my mind. And everybody is just like, really? Really? Now, though, like, yeah, you know, Shantae did say take your time to make up your mind, but that did not mean change it right before we go on. And Mo was saying, like, we only went over the first act. We don't really know what her second act it looks like, so we don't know how to adjust it if she does really drop out of it. Like, what are we going to do? And, you know, it's a whole bunch of build up. Like, it's always going to be any possible thing that happens which makes you think that it's going to completely fall apart. They're going to show that. Everybody's going to react to it. It's going to be real big and extra because, you know, you got to keep us on our toes, right, when we're watching. So the show starts. And they kind of pan across the audience. The audience looks kind of, it's almost full. You know what I mean? A couple empty seats. But it pretty much looked like they had a good, you know, a good size of audience or whatever. It didn't look like it was pitiful. And we go to the lights. Lights come on, curtains go up. You got the band, you got the backup singers. They're back there. They're singing and playing and stuff. And there's like 4 chairs sitting around and a table. And the table has like, you know, 4 little coffee cups on it. The ladies come out, you know, they all mic'd up and everything. And they kind of join in to singing with the background singers and with the band and everything while they sit down. So they say they highs or whatever. Hey, how you doing and stuff. You know, and it's time. The show is starting. And Shantae starts her part. Okay. Now, I was taking notes while I was watching because my baby was sick last night. And it was just really hectic. He came home from school and his allergies were all messed up. So he like fell asleep and he woke up. And when he woke up, he was really sick. And then I had a hard time falling asleep again. By the time all that was done, I could not watch the show. I was done. Okay, I was spent. So I had to watch it this morning and write my notes. And try to hurry up and get this out so I can get to the rest of my day because it's the last day before I go to work. Okay, so I got a lot to do. And I gotta hang out with my daddy. So I'm excited about that. But anyway, so Shantae comes up, okay? And she kind of starts it off with, she starts her story off where she was 6 years old and she was riding in the back of her parents' car with her parents. And she was saying, and she was like explaining how her standard or her expectations for what a marriage is supposed to be was basically set by, was set by what she saw in her parents' relationship. I hate it. I hate that the phone rings like this. And that, you know, when her father touched her mother, I'm sorry guys, when her father touched her mother and how she would blush when he walked in a room, and they just had like a really, really beautiful, magical kind of relationship. So that's what she expected out of her relationships. You know, it wasn't something that she saw on TV. You know, it was real life. It was her parents, you know, and that was pretty much where she got her standards, her precedent for what a marriage was supposed to be from, you know. And then she kind of moved on into, you know, when she lost her virginity and, you know, the guy was 20 and she was 14, I think. And it was really powerful the way she kind of played it out and just relived it and took you there with it. And then when she went to her song, it was like, she's a performer, okay? She's nervous and all the other stuff about sharing all these intimate details and everything, but she can act because she really did take you there. She had you in a moment. You could see the audience. You could see how they were just kind of like, what's going to happen now, you know? So she killed it. And that was a great way to start the show. Then Mo came on, and I loved her her act because it was Cynthia versus Little Mo, and she pretty much went through how, you know, Cynthia, that's her real name, and that's, you know, the real person, where she came from, the hood girl, all that other stuff, and then Little Mo, who is basically the singer and the performer and the star. She is like the personality that she had basically had to create to become a performer. and how she battles every day with being Cynthia and being Little Mo. And that was really powerful. And the thing was, when she was talking about how she got busted upside the head or whatever with the bottle or whatever, had to get 20 stitches. I remember when that happened, and I wasn't sure if it was true. And I remember, like, for the longest time, every time I saw Little Mo, I was like looking at her head, like, is her hair covering it? Is it true? Is it just a rumor? You know. So she just kind of confirmed that for me, and just the emotion that she had behind it, like she had animosity, you know, towards herself, and to have that kind of battle inside of you, like that was really powerful, you know. And then she did her little song with the, you know, put your L's in the air or whatever. As she, you know, kind of, she was like reborn. She took off the Little Mo, I mean, she took off the Cynthia clothes, and she was Little Mo, and she's like, this is who I am, you know. And it was good. It was really, really powerful. It was really good to see these women actually have their stories, all of their nervousness and all of their reservations and everything, and to see it come to fruition on stage was really impressive, because the way they had it built up was like nobody knew what the hell they were doing. Nobody knew what the hell they were going to do. You know, so when the show came, it really looked like they had it together. Like, to me, it didn't look like we've been working on this all the way up until the last second, you know, and we just threw it out there and just hoped for the best. It really looked like they had it together. You know, it was like a real stage play. It was impressive. Mo did a good job, you know. And then, let me see. The audience loved it. She killed it. You know what I mean? And then we go to Claudette again, and she's still nervous. And I was sitting there like, really? Like, how many times are you going to say this? But then I started to realize it's the same confessional shot, same outfit. I don't think it's Claudette. I think it's editing, and I think they just keep on repeating it and trying to run it home and make you tired of hearing it. I don't know if they wanted to make you tired of hearing it, or they really wanted to show you how nervous and how big of a deal it was for her. I don't know. It got on my nerves to hear, I'm nervous, this is a really big thing, and it's personal, and it's a really sad story, and da-da-da. I was like, okay. Like, by the time when Lil Mo was done and Claudette was about to go on, and it was playing again, I was like, really, Claudette? Like, really? We know. But then I was like, wait a minute, that might be editing. So Claudette goes up. Okay, and she just kind of goes up to the edge of the stage, and she sits down on the edge of the stage, and she's just like, you know, forget about the bullet points. I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna talk like I'm talking to my friend, like I'm talking to my people, you know. And she started off with her story, and you know, she was talking about the rape and everything, and you know, how she wanted to be there, and she was excited, but then she wasn't ready, and it didn't matter because it was what he wanted. And that was a powerful story. It was the fighting and everything, you know, from a personal perspective and personal experiences. It was a powerful story. It really was. And you could kind of see as she was just talking and she was telling her story, it really seemed like you kind of see that weight lifting off of her. Like, by the time she got to her song and everything, and it was great to be able to hear her story and see her get to that. She was so scary, and she was so nervous about having to tell it and having to share it, that you were worried that she wouldn't at some point. But we all knew that she really needed to do that, and there were people out there who really needed to hear it. And that was what the stage manager was telling her too, when she was like, I'm not going to do this. She was like, your story is very powerful. People need to hear it. You need to tell it. You know what I mean? Like, it's an amazing, amazing story, and you cannot back out of this, because like, you have a responsibility. You do. I mean, it sounds like a bunch of crap and everything, but you don't know who you can help by talking about things. And I've learned that myself. I used to hide things. I used to keep it to myself. I didn't want everybody knowing my stuff, you know. But after I survived some crazy, crazy things in the past couple of years, I'll tell you. Like, you don't know what I went through. I'm going to tell you what I went through. And the reason I'm telling you about it is because I came out of it, you know. And my father tells me every chance that he can get, whenever I'm feeling bad, whenever I'm feeling down, I'm feeling like I'm not good enough, he's like, yo, like, for real, you've done things that me, as a grown-ass man, 6 foot something, football playing, no neck, whatever, I don't think that I would be able to do. I don't think I would be able to handle it. You're a strong person. You've done some heroic things. Okay, you need to stop feeling sorry about yourself. And and people need to hear that, because you share that story and somebody else be going through the same thing, and they could be like, you know what, I could do it too. Like, I believe I could do it. Maybe I am strong enough, or maybe I was strong enough. So I was happy that she got through it. And she was talking about her, her kids, with having her children and getting married and getting divorced and everything. I really want to see the monologues all the way through. I want to see it from the beginning to the end. I wanted to see it before they even did it. And seeing this, I really want to see it now. She did great. I'm so happy that she didn't quit. I'm really proud of Claudette. Love her even more. So then we have Michel'le's part. And, Michel'le comes up and she shares that not long ago, I think she said it was like a couple months or a few months ago. At first I wrote she contemplated suicide. But then as she was talking, I realized she actually attempted suicide. And that was heartbreaking. That was really crazy. She said she just woke up one morning and she was like, I'm ready to go. Like, it's time. And she took a bunch of pills, 4 different medications or whatever. She was high and messed up and stuff, told her 10-year-old daughter goodbye. That's some powerful shit, okay? Real talk. In my life, I've thought about it. I've considered it. Maybe not as far as I'm going to blow my brains out or I'm going to take some pills or something like that. But I've considered it. I've considered, like, maybe I'll do it. I'll find a way. Or maybe I'll just stop trying to live and I'll just let myself go. I've had that happen before. And I don't think I would even ever have the heart to say goodbye to my baby. I would just be so ashamed. And she was just like, so that was powerful for her to just be like, I said goodbye to my 10-year-old, like, goodbye. And 10-year-old is old enough to know that something ain't right, so that was moving. And she said, she slept for like 14 hours and she woke up, thank God she woke up, and she realized that it was just really stupid and it wasn't worth it. It didn't solve anything. It was selfish, and all it really does is mess up everything for everybody. I agree. I hope somebody got something out of it. She's a sweet girl. She laughs and she jokes and everything. Her story was so powerful, and she was able to kind of tell it without making you feel awkward or uncomfortable. I think that's what I loved about all of them, the way they told their stories. It didn't make you kind of go like, oh, damn. So you were like into it, like, that's crazy. And then they get to see them, but I came out of it and I'm here, and it was beautiful, so Michel'le's story, that was pretty powerful too. And the fact that it was so recent, that it happened not long ago, that like really hit me. Everybody else is talking about stuff that, was like way back, and she's like, yeah, like, this was last week. Not really, but you know what I'm saying. So they ended. I wasn't really sure about her singing part though. I mean, I love Michel'le, I do. She kind of reminds me, when she does her live performances, she brings to mind how I feel about Mary J. Blige. And that is, they're great singers, and Michel'le can sing her ass off. Mary J. Blige can sing her ass off too, honestly. But those live performances, I feel like when they get into it, it gets to a certain point where you be like, no, oh, wait, huh? Bring it back, you losing it. Oh, damn, it's going. Oh, hey, and you be like, no, like, you're off. Wait, calm down so you could get back to where you was trying to be. And I don't know if maybe they just edited that way or they just show certain parts, but it just sounded really crazy. And I was like, okay, well, I love the story, and I love Michel'le. So at the end of the show, they all come on stage and they pretty much like lay all of the bad stuff to rest. They just kind of bury all of the terrible things and all of the stuff that they overcame. They lay it to rest, and kind of have like a funeral, or no, it was a eulogy. They had like a eulogy for those things. That was nice. But and the show looked like it was great. The audience looked like they were loving it. It was very impressive. I was really happy for them. I was proud of the way things came out. I was a little curious about why everybody had like 14 different, wardrobe changes, and Michel'le was still wearing the same thing that she had on when she first walked in. But I don't know, maybe she came from work or something like that. I don't know. But I was just trying to figure that whole thing out because everybody else changed like 14 times. You know, from the red carpet to Act 1 to whatever in Act 2, and I was just like, okay. But it was a nice show. I was happy that it came out the way it did. I was happy that it didn't fall apart. And my very, very favorite thing about this whole episode was the lack of the bridge trolls. Them bitches wasn't there. Yay! We just saw some pictures of them from 20 years ago, and that was about it. And, it was a flashback. Boy, I was like, eating or something when that happened. So that was awesome. Like I can't even go crazy and go in on this review or anything because the virus wasn't there. All right, thumbs up for that. I don't know what's going to happen. I think there is going to be, I didn't see the commercial or anything because like I said, I had to catch it today. I think there is going to be a reunion. I'll be finding out about that. I heard that Dawn didn't go, I think, because, she's like, I'm tired of deciding. She probably thought she was going to get her ass kicked. I wouldn't be surprised if she did. So, yeah, we'll see about that. If there is one, I will be here. I will be reviewing it, I'll eat my Wheaties so I could go in all hard and everything on all the fuck shit. And that's about it. So yeah, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry I don't have a whole lot of energy. I'm exhausted from last night. My baby, it's just the school thing and it's so much, and the change and everything. Oh my gosh, there's so much going on, and yeah, so but I will see you guys again soon. I am going to make a Basketball Wives review video. I'm going to do episodes 1 and 2 together because 1 was, Evelyn and Chad, so that can be smashed in. And I'm going to make a Let's Talk video, just kind of share some things with you guys and hear what you have to say about it. We can talk in the comments or whatever. If you want to do a video response, by all means. And that's it. So this is Lala Black Sheep. Thank you guys so much. I love you. I will see you guys later. I may post my video later on tonight if I have the time and am up to it. But thanks again. Thanks for my subscribers and everything. You guys are awesome. I love you. All right. Bye-bye.